Welcome to this week's edition of the Week in Tri. Roll the intro.
Today, like always, we're going to be looking at the results from races from last weekend and having a look ahead to the calendar of races coming up for this weekend. But before we get into that, let's have a quick look at what's making major news in the triathlon world around the globe. First up, Challenge Bahrain announced that they will be no longer going ahead with their race on the 20th of November. This is due to issues regarding the road traffic safety permit for the race. So, no road traffic safety permit, no race. What the Challenge family have done is they've stated that each and every single athlete individually has been contacted about changing their race entry up to any of the other challenge events or a full cash refund. And then the next item is, if you recall a week ago I talked about the Challenge family trying to get a foothold in the USA and buying out the Revolution 3 series and finding out that the original Revolution 3 events didn't get that much traction under the Challenge branding, and that for 2016 they reverted back to the Revolution 3 format and the Revolution 3 branding for those original Rev 3 events. This week, the next Challenge event to sort of be dragged under the bus is that of the Challenge Atlantic City. The Atlantic City event will no longer be a Challenge branded event, but now Ironman have now announced that they'll be taking over the race license as far as the Atlantic City event and adding it to their 70.3 calendar. Now, bearing in mind that these new Ironman events that are being announced, like say for instance the Atlantic City event, they're not new events being added to the triathlon calendar. They're existing events that are just getting a rebranding. So Ironman isn't bringing anything new to the table. They're just taking an existing event that's got an existing loyal athlete supporter base and just rebranding it into an Ironman event. And what happened was that when Challenge did the event in 2014, when they launched it as their inaugural Challenge family event in the United States, it was done as a half iron and full iron distance events together within the same festival. And this year, the Atlantic City Challenge race only saw about 1,000 athletes registered across the two events. Now, coming from my personal experience in event organizing, if you're putting on the type of infrastructure that a Challenge or an Ironman event is needing, and you've got 1,000 athletes, you're just not going to be able to turn a profit, even if there are no professional athletes and you've got no professional prize money to pay out. Just the fact of the cost of putting on the event, that's your aid stations, that's your volunteer support, that's your race packs, race numbers, permits, race vehicles, not even to mention your license fee that you'll need to pay across to the grant holder. 1,000 athletes simply will not turn you a profit. That's the pure facts as far as triathlon organization is concerned. So for the second year 2015, that the Challenge Atlantic City only managed to build up to 1,000, I can totally understand why the event organizer decided to pull the plug on Challenge's licensing and decided to see if we can make a better financial go of it under the Ironman branding. And let's wish him all the best as far as growing the Atlantic City event, because he's a guy that's been Stephen Del Monte, who's the CEO of DelMoSports. He's got 13 years race directing experience, and if you've got a race director, event organizer with 13 years of experience, you do not want them going out of business, because these are the guys that will be able to bring you quality events over the years into the future. So if at all possible, if you are around in the area, support Stephen's events and help him to grow as an event organizer. What will be different as far as the Atlantic City 2016 event is that, number one, there'll only be a 70.3 distance and no full iron distance. Previously the event was in June. It's now going to be the 18th of September 2016, and the event will also have 40 slots available for the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Chattanooga, Tennessee for 2017, and it will be one of the first races where athletes can qualify for the 2017 70.3 World Championship. The event is also going to be allowing for 50 relay teams, so by all means get a relay team together and support the event. There will be no professional prize purse for the first year. Stephen said that what he wants to do is he'll address pro prize money for 2017, but what's important to him is to cater first and foremost for the needs of the age group, of the guys that are effectively funding his events. And what he wants to do is that once he's sure that he's absolutely got you guys, the age groupers' needs completely covered, at that stage he'll readdress the situation of looking at introducing prize money. But at this stage, from a financial point of view, he can introduce prize money and tank the event completely in 1 year, or leave prize money off the table and have the possibility of growing the event and having it for future years and being able to cater to you, the age group athlete, in the best possible way. Now going on to the results and calendars coming up for over the next week. On the Xterra front, nothing happening at all at the moment. Most athletes are either in Maui or in the process of flying to Maui for the Xterra World Championship that's happening on the 1st of November. On the ITU front, the ITU World Cup season closes this weekend. Last weekend on the ITU circuit, you had the Triathlon World Championship held in Adelaide, Australia. You had Emma Pillant of Great Britain taking the women's title, Emilio Martin of Spain taking the men's title. There was a Continental Cup happening in Changshu, China. Lien Yong Wang of China taking the women's title, and Huaquan Bai taking the men's. Then on Sunday the 18th, there was a Continental Cup in Cartagena de Indias in Colombia, and you had Steffi Salazar Perez of Ecuador taking the women's title, Jason West of the USA taking the men's. Then also over the 17th, 18th of October last weekend, there was an ITU World Cup in Alanya, Turkey, and you had Yulia Yelestrova of the Ukraine taking the women's title, and Joao Pereira of Portugal taking the men's. Looking ahead to this coming weekend on the ITU circuit, Saturday the 24th of October, you've got the final ITU World Cup of the season kicking off, and that's in Tongyong in South Korea. Bearing in mind that's a weekend event, the women's elite on the Saturday the 24th, and men's elite on Sunday the 25th. Also on Saturday the 24th, you've got an African Triathlon Union Sprint Triathlon Cup event happening in Larache, Morocco. Then 25th of October, you've got the Oceania Triathlon Union having a cup event in Papet, Tahiti, and the European Triathlon Union is having a European Cup, which will also combine as the Mediterranean Championship, and that's happening in Catania, Italy. Then onto the Ironman front, general Ironman news. Ironman was set to announce a whole slew of new Ironman branded events for Europe for 2016, and that announcement was there were rumors of new events to be included for Dubai, Estonia and the UK, but during the special press conference event that happened in Rome on Saturday the 17th of October, only Italy and Estonia were added to the event schedule. So what's going to be happening as far as the possible new Ironman UK events, we'll have to wait for further press releases to see what may or may not be happening there. Last weekend on the Ironman circuit, we got some information through as far as the Ironman Maryland event is concerned. No male elites raced whatsoever, only one female elite raced. So Suzanne McCulloch of the USA picked up the Ironman Maryland elite title. She was the only one in the race, so she just had to cross the finish line to pick up the win. Then on to Sunday the 18th of October, two events took place, both of them 70.3s. First up, Port Macquarie in Australia had a 70.3. Radka Vodikova of the Czech Republic picked up the women's elite title. Tim Reed of Australia picked up the men's. Then also on the 18th of October, we move on to Tempe, Arizona in the USA for 70.3. 0 women elites were racing the race, so no women's elite results whatsoever. Daniel Zamora of the USA picked up the men's elite title. Then, looking ahead to this coming weekend on the Ironman circuit, you've got on Saturday the 24th of October, surprisingly, 0 events taking place. But this is made up for more than adequately by effectively 4 events in 3 venues on Sunday the 25th of October. First up, you've got Belek Antalya in Turkey that's hosting a 70.3, that's 70.3 Turkey on Sunday the 25th. Then you move on to Miami, Florida for another 70.3 happening on Sunday the 25th. And lastly, Los Cabos in Mexico is having 2 events on Sunday the 25th. They're having an Ironman 70.3, and they're also on the same day having a full distance Ironman 140.6. So that wraps up the Ironman calendar for this coming weekend, and that wraps up the entire program of the Weekend Tri. So please share this out amongst your triathlon friends. Post any comments, questions, criticisms that you may have in the space down below. Also, don't forget, down below as well, you'll see a big red subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, that way you stay subscribed to my channel for all the new content that comes out on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And finally, remember, Mondays to Thursdays I answer athlete questions, Fridays are the Weekend Tri. So, subscribe and you'll be staying up to date for all the athlete questions that I'm answering, as well as the Weekend Tri that will be coming up every Friday. So that's it for this week. Stay carved up for the win out there. I'll be seeing you next time. Cheers.